All right. Peace and shalom, family. It's Divine Prospect of Kingdom Harbinger Ministries, and we are live on this very late Wednesday, early Thursday session. Right now, since it is technically Thursday, it is what's called Thanksgiving, right? So I'm not going to touch anything on Thanksgiving. I'm not going to do that. I shared a link on my Facebook page, and I put information out previously on it, but I just don't partake in the celebration of Thanksgiving per se. You know what I'm saying? It's a secular Sabbath nationwide in the U.S., and because of such, most people are given the day off. So it is an indirect Sabbath, holy day, feast day, set apart day for a lot of people who, whether they're aware of it or not. You know what I'm saying? So I don't partake in it because I understand what it's predicated on. So I try to avoid it, but it is what it is. All right. So I'm going to wait until I get enough viewers in here. Anybody that's watching right now, share this link. I'm going to touch on some things. I'm going to show you a brief presentation that I just drafted up before I did this live stream, because I just want to put some information out there and let you guys know what's coming down the pike. All right. And after I do this portion, I'm going to back off and I'm going to focus on other endeavors because it's a distraction, to be honest with you. It's really not worth my time. But it's really interesting how things are turning out. All right. So I'm going to wait for a few more people to jump in. We're going to check the chat, see what's going on in the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Wait for a few more. All right. Oh, let me mute that. Okay. All right, family, join in. All right. I'm gonna shout out everybody that I see already joining in. So shout out to formerly Geneva, Ryan Smith, shout out to Black Ab One, shout out to the script, shout out to LC Ford, Brother Ruapine, the script, Kiefer, Abiel Ben Israel, Nisi's Pieces, Love Truth, shout out, Just Looking, Elizabeth Murthy, KB Aded, shout out to the family, shalom, peace to y'all. Thank y'all for joining in. All right, hope y'all enjoy this broadcast. You know, I can't guarantee it's going to be short because I'm going to have to show y'all a PowerPoint presentation real quick. But I'm going to try to get through it as quick as I can. It's really a brief response. It's not even a full-fledged response, but it's something I do together last minute, just so that you guys can get an idea of where I'm at with certain things. All right. So I'm going to wait for you a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk on a couple of things. You know, I'm going to speak on the Black Power Awards, and some of the minority views on the award that I got because of what it looks like. That's interesting. Then I'm gonna get into the subject matter in regards to Vocab Malone and now James White. And then from there, I'm just gonna give you guys a heads up of the next lecture that I'm doing. I'll try to get it done by the end of the year. I can't promise you. I have a lot going on, but that's going to be the next PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to explain that to y'all as well. All right, so just rock with me for a little bit. You know, don't want to take up too much of your time, but you know how I do. You always make jokes and stuff. So, oh, Divine said 5 minutes, so he about to get off. He stay on another hour. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. I'm working on it, but it is what it is. You feel me? All right, family. So if the Kiefer said, thank you for going live, bro. No problem. I know people has been asking me to go live the past 3-4 days, you know. So since I'm technically off tomorrow, that's why I'm dedicating this time to do this now as opposed to waiting till Friday, which I know I'm going to be busy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather just get it out the way tonight and just be done with it and move forward. All right. Because there's a lot on my plate. It's a lot I want to get done, but I just have to get over this speed bump real quick. You know what I'm saying? And keep it moving because we can't let moments ruin our momentum. Right. So there's a momentum that I'm trying to maintain, and situations come up that create moments. And the best testament of your character is how much you can endure and persevere. You feel what I'm saying? And that's truly what helps to define who you are. Okay. So I'm gonna wait for a few more people to jump in. All right. Share this link everywhere. I'm saying let's get more people up in here. I know if I did Facebook Live, it would be way more people than YouTube, interestingly enough. But I can't show slides on Facebook. So I want to continue to give this information on YouTube, and the people who are on YouTube that are not on Facebook, that are on my YouTube channel. All right. So the shepherd said, Divine, can we ask you questions? Yes. Just give me some time. Let me get through what I want to share. And then from there, if you want to ask me questions, you can definitely ask me questions. Hit 1 if the audio video is on point. Hit 1 if the audio video is on point. Also, family, click the thumbs up button. Click the thumbs up button. All right. That's very important as well. If you enjoy what you're watching, please click the thumbs up button. Okay. So we got 40-something people in here, which is not too bad. I think we could rock with that. Shout out to Monica Lamb. Shout out to Melanin. Else is up in here. Israel, shout out to you. Sadaria Halliburton, shout out to you. Adaya Israel, shout out to you. Darak, shout out to you. I think I've covered everybody. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Shout out to you, all the chosen ones. Shout out to Mama Rika. All right. So we got about 40 people watching. Y'all thumbs out. Shout out to Curtis Brown. Shout out to Ryan Smith. Shout out to Bami Dell. Follow me home. Shout out to everybody that supports this channel, everybody that supports these live streams, because y'all know it's at all awkward times in the morning. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's when I'm able to settle down and actually focus on catering to my audience. You know what I'm saying? And again, I know y'all want things that's more sooner, and I told you I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But the reason why I didn't go sooner tonight is because I was trying to put together a quick PowerPoint presentation. It may look a little sloppy. It's okay. I just threw it together real quick. And I just wanted to present some information for y'all. All right. So don't forget, hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button. Shout out to Jennifer M. Shout out to Young Ox. Shout out to Jason Page. All right. If y'all in the building, shout out to Sophia Henry. If y'all in the building, y'all getting a shout out. All right. Everybody needs to know who's supporting this channel, this ministry, and the information that I do my best by way of the Most High Yah to disseminate. Okay. So since y'all saying the audio visual is good, we about to get started. We about to go in. Okay. So yeah. Let's get started. All right, family. So first things first, the Black Power Awards, right? So I went to the Black Power Awards this weekend. The ceremony was on Saturday. And luckily enough, it was after the Shabbat was over, because I think it started late. It was supposed to start at 4, and it started I think 6 or something like that. I'm not sure, but it started after sunset, which is great because the vendors weren't able to bring any food. So we didn't have vendors that brought food or any kind of drinks or smoothies, anything like that. And I was highly disappointed because I didn't know that going there. But it is what it is. You know, I fasted until the sunset, and then from there, you know, we got our seats, and then from there, I went out and grabbed a couple of items from the stores in the hotel, and they didn't want their Starbucks and their other little shops to compete with the food that's being sold by the people at the event, who's hosting the event, I mean, the vendors at the event. So I was a little upset over that, and then I had to go and find something to eat afterwards, which was late and everything like that. But it's all good. So the Black Power Awards was great. I wasn't there for the Friday meet and greet. I didn't make it for that. I didn't go to the fitness festival on that Sunday either. I mean, Saturday was a long day for me, so it kind of burnt me out a little bit. But it's all good. So anyway, so I went to the award ceremony, and I thought it was pretty good. But towards the end, things started to taper off a little bit. There were technical difficulties and stuff like that. And a lot of people didn't know if the show was over or if it was still going. But some people left, you know, from out of the main stage, part of the venue where they was actually having the actual awards. It was at a hotel. So they had rented out one of those hotel halls to do it. And they built the stage, which was nice, but the stage did not have Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what just happened. The signal went out or something like that, but we back. Anyway, so he was aware of some of the shortcomings and the technical difficulties and stuff like that, miscommunication. It didn't make the event terrible. The event was actually pretty good still, in spite of that. It was really good. But, you know, given those issues, it wasn't better than last year. But next year, understanding those issues, he's actually improving everything, which I think is great. Okay. So I was sitting there when it was announcing the various awards and so forth. And to be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to win that award. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people know who Umar Johnson is and the work that he put in. You know, I'm not 100% certain of his scholarship per se, but I know he's a Pan-Africanist. I know he's an educator. He's an advocate for Black boys. He's an activist for the community. He's a lecturer, you know what I'm saying, a well-renowned lecturer. And he has a lot of appeal to him because of, you know, the notoriety he has behind who he is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even if I lost, it wouldn't have been a big deal because, you know, that's Umar Johnson. You feel what I'm saying? He's been in this community much longer than I have. And he's done, you know, the amount of work that he's put in is far greater than me, mostly because his appeal, you know, and I don't have that national acclaim just yet. You know, in due time, you know, Yah willing, if that's his purpose for me, then I will. But in the interim, I got my platform, you know what I'm saying? And the platforms that I go on and I present information because I'm not looking to be famous. I'm not looking for fortune. I'm not looking to say I got all these degrees. I'm smarter than everybody. That's not what I'm here to do. You know, I'm here to revolutionize our community, to transform characters. I'm here to revitalize our dead culture that we need to resurrect. I'm here so that way people can be successful and they can be greater than me. I'm just the stepping stone for them to get to where they need to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important. So my aspirations are very modest, you know what I'm saying? And whatever the Most High wants to do with me, you know, from my mild aspirations, I'm game. You know, I'm willing to allow him to use me as he sees fit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't live for myself no more. I live for him and I live for the community. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a distant last, you know what I mean? But it's all good. It's all good. But anyway, sitting there in anticipation, and I was trying to see the trend of the people who were nominated. And I realized the people who were nominated were people that were pretty well known more than the other candidates. So I was like, oh, okay, so more than likely when they get to me, then they're not going to call me, you know what I'm saying, for the award. But I was okay with that because, you know, I was invited there to go into the event for free. So I can't even complain, you know what I mean? So it was worth the price of admission, even if it was just a network, you know what I'm saying, or speak to the people, take pictures and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It was well worth it for that. So I was like, well, if I don't get it, it's all good, you know what I'm saying? Because look who I'm going up against, you know what I'm saying? You know, but as I was sitting there, and the video is on my Facebook page, I'm gonna do a video on it soon, so you guys can see some of that experience. I'm about to chop that up and work on that soon. But you know, they was calling, you know, they called the 21st Century Scholarship, not scholarship award, and they said my name first. They said Umar's name second. They said I was named Saladin Allah, who I've never heard of before. I don't even think he was there. Umar wasn't there either. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they called my name, Umar's name, and Saladin Allah's name. And then you know, they had a pause. They said the winner is, and I'm sitting there like, let's see this. And they said Divine Prospect. And I was like, oh, what? You know what I'm saying? And I was a little shocked. I was like, oh, first of all, I didn't even think I'd be nominated or even acknowledged or recognized for something like that in the Black conscious community, you know what I'm saying, or the Black power community, you know. But the fact that that, you know, the board that was responsible for picking out the nominees, and I had met one of the individuals who said, who told me, she was like, yeah, you know, I was the one who actually suggested you. I was like, wow. You know, I was like, man, she must really follow my work. And then on top of that, all the people, you know, who support me, who came out and went online and filled out that nomination, man, you know, they've received a lot of nominations on my behalf from the people who support me. So I thank all you guys also for believing in me, for helping me get this far, and for empowering me and encouraging me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many hits I'm taking, how much I got going on, you know what I'm saying? You guys keep me in the game, and I appreciate y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't trade y'all for the world. I'm just letting y'all know that. I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? So I went up there. I was like, wow, you know, I didn't have no speech prepared or nothing like that. I went up there and I freestyled. You know, I said a couple of things, asked people, do you know what Black Power is? And I said, you know, it's really about autonomy, you know, and I said, I give thanks to my creator and the ancestors paved the way for me to make it here, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And that was it, you know, and then I came down from the stage with the award. And I went backstage and met the lady who said that, you know, she put my name on the ballot to be nominated. I was like, wow, you know. Spoke with her, and they gave me the envelope with you know, the name of the category and my name inside the card, inside the envelope. And they took the award from me, right? I didn't get a physical award yet, so I got to holler at DJ and get my award. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't get a physical award yet. But before they took it, I was like, hold on, let me take a picture of this. You know what I mean? So let me take a picture first. So I went and I took a couple pictures of it. And I took a picture with the award, and then I handed it back over to them so they can give it to the next nominees for the next couple of categories. And, you know, I didn't know how to feel about that. You know, I didn't know if I should be shocked, if I should be happy, if I should be indifferent. I mean, it was really strange feeling, you know, because I was not expecting that. I was not anticipating that. I mean, y'all saw it fit for me to be on that list against, you know, Umar Johnson out of all people. Like I said, if he would have won, I would have been all right with that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the Most High saw it fit for me to win that award. You know, and you know, and I appreciate that. You know, some people call the tutelary spirits that I speak about that we see in Tehillim that are charged to guard over us. They call them the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? It's interchangeable in regards to my terminology that I utilize. You know, they made things happen in this realm on behalf of the Most High in order for these things to occur that we see manifested in the earth. So I'm truly grateful for that, and I'm truly thankful for that. And I thank everybody that supported me, my family, my community, you know, everybody that watches this platform, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that made it possible, because it wasn't me. It was forces outside of myself that did it. And I was just an individual that inherited it, you know what I mean? And I'm humbly grateful for that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I try not to let anything puff me up. So all this award means is that I have a greater obligation to my community, to bring more distinct scholarship, to inspire others to be greater. You know, the best key to success is how many success souls you have around you. Because if the people around you are not as great as you are by virtue of the work you're putting in, then you're failing the people, and you need to surrender that assignment. You feel what I'm saying? So when I got the award, you know, I didn't know how to feel. Eventually, it sunk in like, man, you know, I'm really truly grateful for this, man. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But I received it, so I accepted it. You know what I'm saying? And I thanked y'all for it. And I said, yo, I have a greater obligation now to the people. You know, this is all this means to me. It has nothing to do with my ego and who I am. That's irrelevant. I have to leave a greater example. I have to put in more work. I have to bring better information and greater scholarship coming up. You know, I got to do bigger and better things to advance the community forward, so we can be truly autonomous and we can own up to our culture, and then we can be the ones teaching it to our children, you know what I mean? And not relying upon who we deem as an oppressive system, educating them, but we have to do it ourselves. And not just the children, for the adults as well. You know what I'm saying? Is this adults that are hungry and they come humbly like children, you know, like Yahusha said, you know, come to this information and to me and what I stand for as a little child, you know. And there's adults that have actually flushed out their history and their past and experience just to come into this truth, you know. And I'm grateful to encounter those individuals, because, you know, my job is to put the tools in their hand and show them how to get the job done, you know, and then leave it up to themselves, you know. And that's very, very important. Okay. So thank y'all for supporting me. Thank you, Most High Yah. You know, I look forward to greater things to come. And, you know, I just, you know, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with it. And then people was making some sly comments about the award. So the award, if y'all haven't seen it, I don't know if y'all seen it. Let me show y'all a picture of it. Let me show you a picture of it. I have a picture on my desktop, but it's a meme that somebody made. So just, it's a funny meme, but let me show it to y'all anyway. I'll show it to you anyway. Let me grab it real quick. All right. So let me zoom in. So this is the award right here. So it's a Africa. It's a Black Power fist holding an Ankh, right? So I thought it was nice until I saw the Ankh, and I ain't got no issues with the Ankh per se, but I'm like, man, you know, everybody don't subscribe to this symbol. You know what I mean? Just like I don't subscribe to the Star of David. If people want to do that, that's on them. I don't subscribe to Ankh. If people want to do that, that's on y'all. But I'm saying they could have just left it neutral. They could have kept the Ankh out and just had the fist against the Africa, you know what I'm saying, symbol. So, but this is what it was. So in doing this, you know, a few people was making some comments saying, oh, you know, one comment was funny. It was like, man, they're just so insistent in making Divine hold the Ankh, you know what I'm saying, because of that Jabari foolery, right? And then another person was like, see, this is what Divine really subscribes to. This is why he's holding up the Ankh. He's holding up an idol. And I'm like, dude, it's an award. I don't even physically have it with me. You understand what I'm saying? And if I did have it, I would put it up somewhere. I'm not going to sit here and brandish it and all of that. It's not that serious, because that's not why I do this. You know what I'm saying? So for people to overlook, you know, the immensity of the accomplishment and to just belittle it because of an award, of what the award looks like, I'm just like, man, these people are really short-sighted. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, hey, you know, criticism comes a dime a dozen. Peer review comes a dime a dozen. It is what it is. I'm game to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what my purpose and my assignment is. So it's all good, man. I'm not even worried about that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little bit interesting. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, let me see what y'all saying. I'll make sure everything's going good. Hit one of the audio videos still up and running. Hit one. I think the internet had my signal went out briefly, but it came back. So hit one if the audio and video is on point. All right. Shout out to Kiefer Abiel Ben Israel for his donation. I appreciate that. Everybody else that's asking me how to donate, in the actual chat itself, it says live chat. It shows you the various people chatting. Underneath that, it shows your icon and the name of your channel. It says say something, and underneath that to the left is a smiley face and a dollar symbol. Click on the dollar symbol, and from there, follow the instructions. You know, you can click on super chat, send a super chat, and from there, follow the instructions, and it will tell you how you can donate directly to the channel from the chat. Okay, and this is important because of what YouTube is doing, flagging everybody's videos to limit it to no ads, because they're saying it's not approved. It's not an approved ad. You know what I'm saying? So this helps the people who have channels to keep things going. Or you can go to my Patreon site. Just type in Divine, go to patreon.com, type in Divine Prospect, and you can donate there. You can also donate to my PayPal email address, which is Kingdom Harbinger, HARBINGER @AOL.com. Or you can go to my GoFundMe page and look up Kingdom Harbinger Ministries, and you can donate there. All right, those are the various options you can donate for those who are asking and inquiring. Okay, so now moving aside from that. All right, so let's transition to the meat of everything. All right, so if those of y'all who've been following me on Facebook, you know about this Damon Richardson situation. All right, and those of y'all who've been following me on Facebook and even YouTube now, you'll know about the Vocab Malone situation. Those of you who are only on YouTube, you only see the videos that I put up in regards to me and Vocab and then me and Shield Squad, right? But Vocab, man, before me and him did that discussion, after we did that discussion, man, this guy's been on a trolling spree. I mean, every post I put up with information, this guy's on it. Then he's on other people's comments on my post. He's just on it like a troll. I'm like, yo, what's going on, buddy? It's not that serious, dude. And the only time that, you know, I posted a comment on one of his posts is when he posted a video about me in his discussion group on Facebook. I'm like, what is this? So I went and responded to it. You feel what I'm saying? And put my comments in and whatnot. And I started to leak out information to substantiate my stance in regards to the dialogue that we had, that he zoomed in on a particular part of it, asking me, how do you baptize? And it came from how do you baptize to verifying if a particular passage is interpolated or not, you know what I'm saying, or an addendum to the text or not, you know what I'm saying? So it spilled over into that, and it just grew from there, man. It got really, really big and crazy on Facebook. But I'm gonna say this to y'all. I told Vocab wanted to debate me on this subject matter, right? And the subject matter is was Matthew chapter 20, verse 19 an interpolation or not? And I told him, from my research perspective, I believe that it is an interpolation. And that's what I said to him in our dialogue, right? And then he took that to try and find a way, some wiggle room, in order to have some kind of prestige or advantage over me, and was like, oh no, what you're saying is not true, and that's not right. And I said, bro, that's from my research perspective. People that know me know that I'm a work in progress, that I'm growing. You understand? I'm humble enough to be a student first before I call myself a teacher. You understand what I'm saying? So as I'm growing, I'm learning new information, and where I'm at the moment, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you where I stand. You know, a lot of things I've been consistent on since day one, and some things that I've upgraded to or evolved away from. You know what I'm saying? And this is part of growth. You know, we all don't have the answer. You know what I'm saying? We all in a work in progress. We're all trying to get to the finish line. Some people may be further ahead than others, but they're still not there. You feel what I'm saying? So the fact that he's going to try to find something so minuscule to debate me on, I just thought it was petty. I'm like, bro, that's not what I want to debate you on. What I want to debate you on is this. Is progressive covenantalism the appropriate doctrine, right, for the Black community? And does it withstand scrutiny? And do you need to borrow from my worldview in order for your worldview to make sense? So that is really what it's a layered discussion, but that's what I want to debate him on. I want to debate him on his progressive covenantalism stance, my particular brand or flavor of Hebrew Israelite ideology, and I want to see if his progressive covenantalism stance can withstand scrutiny. And this is what I put to the test when I had that dialogue in that interview, when I was poking holes in it by asking him certain questions to see where he was at. And I was like, oh, he doesn't know too much about this. Oh, he doesn't know too much about that. So I know these are his weak points. And if he doesn't tidy these things up, then it's not going to be good if we debate it, because I'm going to hone in on those points. And I had over 200 questions to ask the brother, and I didn't even ask him 200 questions, right? I don't even know how many I asked him. It was way less than that. 200 plus questions to ask his brother. And it was all centered on his doctrine, because his own team, Shield Squad, don't even know what progressive covenantalism is. All these other Christians that are supporting him and his All right, sorry about that, family. Went out again, but we back. I don't know what's going on with the webcam. I have no clue what's going on, but it's a little frustrating. But I'm gonna pick up what I was going on, and I could tell by looking at the light whether or not it's still recording or not. All right. So anyway, so I'm like, bro, I don't want to debate you on that. That's weak. Let's debate on something stronger than that. Okay, if you want to debate on what is the purpose of baptism and is it necessary today, we can go into that. If you want to have a debate in regards to progressive covenantalism, let's have a debate on that. Let's have a debate on whose position or whose worldview is better suited for the urban community. And when he says urban, he's really talking about Black people. That's what he's saying. But he's trying to use a more culturally diversified term. He wants to be very PR friendly. So when he says urban, he's talking about black folk because he wants to be part of our culture that we've developed. He wants to be a rapper. He wants to be hip. That's what he wants to do. We've seen this before, family. People come and infiltrate our culture because they want to be down. And that's fine. If that's what he wants to do, that's his business. I don't care because that's not really my culture per se. I'm trying to reconstruct, revitalize, and re-implement my culture back to my people. Hence why this channel was here. Hence why this ministry is here. Okay? So if you want to be hip and down and all of that, bro, that's fine. But now you turn it into an evangelical mission where you believe you have an assignment to save lost souls of black folk in the urban community. I have an issue with that. We don't need your brand of Christianity, bro. Take that somewhere else. We don't need that. We're doing fine, right? Especially my community. We don't need that. You take that and you go over there somewhere, right? Go somewhere else over there. Why don't you go to Africa and do your evangelical missions if you want to do that? Why don't you go to the people who you see as being lost for real and don't have any knowledge of the things that we discuss? Why don't you go evangelize and proselytize and convert them? I'm not in the business of conversion. I'm not in the business of proselytization. That is not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is be the beacon of information to the lost sheep of Israel to wake them up. And if they want to cleave in the process of me giving this information, then let's create and form a community. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not out there trying to hand out tracts, you know what I'm saying? And on some evangelical mission to convert everybody who I encounter, you know, to be a Christian. That's not what I'm out there to do, family. That's not what my stance is. So I realized that we don't have any institutions that teach Hebrew Israelite apologetics, Hebrew Israelite hermeneutics. We don't have any books on these. We don't have any systematic theological courses on these things. We don't have any of these things on how to rebut, refute, and respond to people who come against our worldview. We don't have these things. So I've been working on this for a long time, trying to formulate this and put this thing together. Now, take into account, family, I don't have a college degree, right? I'm a college dropout. I've been in college for a couple of years. I was paying out of pocket in the latter end of it, about 3 years of it. Couldn't afford it, had to leave out. Then 2 years later, I tried college again. Still, it was too much. I had a lot going on. So unfortunately, I don't have my college degree, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times in certain circles that I go in and I speak to people, they always assume that I have a college degree. And even when I tell them, and in the course of our dialogue, and they seem to forget that. And I think that that is a blessing from the Most High. He's giving me the ear of the learned and the mouth of the learned, you know, so that way I can reach people. You feel what I'm saying? It could be far-fetching, you know, and I'm grateful to him about that. It has nothing to do with me. You feel what I'm saying? So being that that's the case, being that I grew up in a neighborhood that was like like lower middle class, you know what I'm saying? And it was neighbored by projects and everything like that. I came from a black community, family. You understand what I'm saying? It was not a rich community. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't have the benefit of white privilege. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't have the benefit of finances in order for me to go and pay for college, you know, to get a grant or get a scholarship or get a loan, family. I didn't have that advantage. I had to work all my life. From the time I was 13 until today, I've been working. So we talking about what, 21 years I've been working. You know what I'm saying? Working hard, and didn't even find my purpose until what, 2013. You know, All right. I think we're back. Sorry about that, family. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going back into this. All right. So anyway, so pretty much what I'm saying is I know where I stand. You know what I'm saying? I know that our community needed apologetics and hermeneutics, and we don't have any structured format of that. So my objective is to create that from the ground up. All right. Through the methodology of inductive analysis of what's available and what can be utilized to substantiate our worldview, okay? Because we don't have that. So that's definitely a work in progress. I know some people who do debate our worldview, but it's not anything that is structured like Christianity. Christianity has been here for a long time, over 1,500 plus years, 1,600 plus years, 1,700 years. So it's from the times of the church fathers. So we're talking about the apostolic church fathers to the apologetical church fathers, and all the way into the ante-Nicene church fathers, which consists of them and the later ones prior to the Nicene Council, and then all the later fathers. You know, they've been developing Christianity and their worldview, their systematic theology, and all these things. They've had a head start on almost every other group that popped up since then. So they have a huge advantage with a huge amount of resources, a huge amount of adherence, you know, and that is like David against Goliath. You feel what I'm saying? So when I did my independent research and I came into my particular worldview, I realized that, man, it needs defense. Okay, we see Peter says, "Give a word to anyone that asks for you to hope that's in you." He's saying the word apologia there, apologia, and then Jude says, "Contend for the faith earnestly." Okay, these are the two things that I would use in Christianity to realize, man, I got to defend everything that I speak and everything that I put out there, and that was something that I enjoyed doing in Christianity. And I was in several churches, and we went to several seminars where Christian apologists from these universities would come out and speak with us and teach us about. All right. So I'm back. I don't know what's going on, family. This is really odd. I've never had this many interruptions in the stream while I was speaking. This is really bad. And I may not be able to show my PowerPoint presentation simply because I don't want it to keep cutting off. So what I will probably do is I'll probably end this session off and I'll do it offline and then I'll upload it. All right. I'll probably do that. Now I see Vocab Malone is in the chat, which is interesting. It's crazy. But anyway, so we're gonna go over. I want to go over some information, but I don't know if this connection is gonna hold for me to do it. But anyway, so I said, let me step into the places that there's a void and let me redeem my community. And that's what I did. You know, that's what I defended against the Kemetic community. That's what I defended against, you know, the Black Muslim perspective by means of Ali Muhammad and what Ali Muhammad was saying in regards to the the various opponents in the conscious community, even internally in the Israelite community, you know, even having dialogues with my brothers who are One West, dialogue with my brothers who are Torah only, you know what I mean, in Christianity, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, in interfacing with these things, it made me more robust, it made me more responsive, it made me more alert, it made me more aware, because I see the inquiries that they have in regards to our community. And a lot of times, you know, when we have a lack for a response, we realize that what it does is that it gives them an advantage or a more of leverage over us, and it's very difficult for us to defend. You know what I'm saying? Hit one family, hit one family if the audio visual is still on. Hit one if it's still on, because I can't tell if it's still on or not. But just hit one if it is. All right. I don't think my moderators is on here. I don't think my moderators is on here. So I'm gonna add another moderator. Right. So I just added a moderator. All right, y'all saying one? All right, cool. All right. So let me keep going. So now you got to understand what I'm facing as a professed Hebrew Israelite, and my worldview. There's not a lot of references and sources that are built up in our community that can compete at the university level. You know, I go to biblical archaeology seminars, workshops, events. I go to the University of Chicago, the Oriental Institute in Chicago, to learn some things in Near Eastern studies and things of that nature. I have the numbers of people like Christopher Ralston and others who deal with the languages, and you know, individuals who are actually in the field doing the work. You know, I've reached out. It's crazy. I'll talk about it another time, but I reached out to people like Messenger, excuse me. F.F. Bruce was an individual that somebody has put me on when I was in the universities, and I would ask these professors things in theological studies, and I would ask them questions, you know, and they would be very open to speak with me and chat with me, and they shared a lot of information with me, a lot of resources with me. I have access to 2 universities' libraries if I need to go get a source, and then I've also signed up for a lot of things to get sources myself. So you got to understand, I'm facing a battle with one hand tied behind my back and both my legs tied, and I have to hop and use one hand to defend. That's the disadvantage that I'm at, because there's not a lot of academic sources for my community. And because he said Messenger and Bruce are dead. Bro, did you hear what I said? I said when I went to the universities, I got information from the professors there on who these individuals were. I didn't know who they were prior to that. They put me on. As a matter of fact, in the slide that I have, I'm going to show y'all some of their works that I have. So let's taper down a little bit, buddy. Taper down. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put up for you what I'm talking about, because obviously this guy doesn't know. But that's funny that he said that. Thank you, Vocab, for the comic relief. I appreciate it. And I see he's still here. He's going to troll me until he dies. All right? So look, I'm going to show you all the work that I looked up for F.F. Bruce and the work I looked up for Messenger, because both of these people had were influential to the professors in these theological wings of these colleges that actually shared this information with me. You know, when I was a Christian, I was trying to figure out, well, what are the best sources to go to, like textual criticism for the New Testament and things of that nature. And these were the names that kept coming up. And these are the things that they had shared with me. And it's interesting that a late uncle of mine who passed away, he actually went to seminary school. And I think he went to Dallas Seminary, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check with my grandmother and see. And he learned under a lot of these people by doing his revivals and going to these events. And when he passed, I was very young. I was probably like a late teenager, whatever. But he was sharing a lot of this information with me. And at that time, I didn't care nothing about that. And then when I got older and I decided in 2008, I was kind of straddling the fence. I didn't know if I wasn't fully going to be a Christian or not. In 2009, I subscribed to it. And then the one thing he did tell me, he's like, man, if you're going to be successful, if you don't have an education, the best thing to do is reach out and speak to experts in the field. Go to the university, speak to professors, go to the events and seminars and workshops that they have for free at these colleges and speak with these individuals. And I was like, okay. So I went ahead and did these things because unfortunately I was not privileged enough in order to go to one of these colleges and get a degree, especially at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a lot that was going on, so I was unable to do that. So when I went to these places, they would mention these names like F.S. Bruce, and they said, "Let me introduce you to F.S. Bruce's work." And they would give me this book, like I think one that he made a long time ago, the New Testament documents. And then he would give me Messenger's work as well. And he was like, "Man, let me introduce you to this work," because he said, "Listen, anybody that's a student and these who's going through these courses or this curriculum, this is the works that we suggest to them." And I was like, wow, that's interesting. That's okay, because I don't know anything about this. Coming into Christianity, I didn't know anything about this. So they were sharing this information with me, and it helped to sharpen me, right? So they introduced me to the works of these individuals. I didn't meet them. I didn't sit and take, because if I did meet them, I would have taken pictures with these people, right? But all of these greats that people talk about, I didn't meet these individuals. Now, some of them, like when I went to the Oriental Institute, would speak on certain matters in regards to archaeology, and they were kind of like minor in theological studies. But like that's where more of my interest was in biblical archaeology, right? That's like where my strength is at most. You know what I'm saying? But the literature also is kind of complementary to that as well, because in order for me to restore the culture, you can't just look at literature. And what happens is if you're confined to just literature, you become religious, religio, you get confined to the book. But if you open up out of that and look at comparative cultures and do studies in those areas, look at archaeology, do studies in those areas, look at historical accounts and do studies in those areas, now what you can do is you can have a 360-degree view or bird's eye view of what actually is going on, and then you'll learn how to reconstruct that. And I'll bring it up later on if I'm able to get through this PowerPoint, if this camera don't stop breaking down or whatever the case may be. So I was introduced to these people when I went to these universities, and they would share these books with me, and I would go and just read and just read and just read. And like, man, this stuff is fascinating. It's interesting. And I just took up a great deal of interest in textual criticism. And I thought that that was a very rich study that a lot of Christians in our community, Black Christians now in our community, are not really interested in. They're not interested in apologetics. They're not interested in textual criticism or hermeneutics. They don't care nothing about that, most of them. There's some that do specialize in that, but that's not the majority of them. And the ones that do, they realize that most of the people that they speak to, they're not there yet. So they tend not to teach in that capacity. You feel what I'm saying? So the most interesting thing is that to take home from what I'm saying is me coming into Christianity as an amateur and learning from being in church administration, church leadership, and being able to have a thirst to protect the community, to contend earnestly for the faith, to have an answer for every man that asks for you. These were things that was conjured up in my spirit. And I was like, man, this stuff is so heavy. Our community needs it. You know what I'm saying? So that was where I was at, you know what I'm saying? And I started to study all these various doctrines and stuff like that. And I started to understand these things. And then over time, I leaned towards more of a reform type of theology. And then from reform theology, I kind of transitioned from there into like SDA kind of ideology, because I started learning some things from there that was pulling me away from dispensationalism, because that's the church that I was going to initially, that's what they were teaching. And then I got pulled away from that, leaning more towards Calvinism, and then pulled away from that to certain things that I learned in the SDA church, and pulled away from that to the Messianic Roots movement and Messianic Judaism and stuff like that. And then took a pause for a second, was introduced Okay, it looks like it's back up, family. All right, I'm gonna finish out with this because unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to do the live stream PowerPoint because this thing keeps going out. So I'm just gonna speak, give some commentary, and then I'm gonna end this, and then I'm just gonna do the PowerPoint, and I'm gonna load that up for y'all, okay? Because this thing keeps going out, and it's very frustrating. I've never had this many difficulties, you know. So I don't know who the culprit is, but something's going down. All right. So anyway, I walked in and I realized that the community needed a lot of work in those areas, because Islam has it, Christianity has it, Judaism has it, and even other world religions like Buddhism, Hinduism. But the Hebrew Israelite community, we don't have that. So my objective was to awaken that interest in the community, to inspire people to go and learn these things, you know, whether it's by formal education or informal education, and be able to accumulate and aggregate these resources, data, information, and come back with your dissertation using inductive analysis through observation, and from observation collecting data, and through collecting data you work your way to the hypothesis, which is the algorithm, and from there you test it with things to see how well it stands, and then you move up from there to your thesis. From your thesis you work your way to your premise. From your premise you spring forth your dissertation on it, get it peer reviewed, and you go from there. So I wanted to interest people in those processes. I showed them a lot of the material that I read on postgraduate research methodology, and I've shared a lot of that in my previous lectures and so forth. And I want to inspire people in our community to do something that no one has done before, you know, like the Star Trek, Next Generation. These are the Starship voyages, to boldly go where no man has gone before. So I figured, let me pioneer this. You know, I never came out and said I'm the best at this or I'm an expert or anything like that. My objective was to be the spearhead. My objective was to be the pioneer, so people that come up behind me can do greater and do better. All right, that was what my purpose is. All right, so now let me get into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to discuss it with my PowerPoint, but I'm gonna have to end this short. Okay, I'm gonna end this shortly. But let me just get a little bit of this off my chest before I get into that. So being that I saw that vocab was just insistently trolling me, like just like he is right now in the chat, just trolling, right? Insistently trolling, like he has nothing else better to do, even though I follow everything that he does and I see all these other things that he's going to. But he is insistently trolling me. I don't care about vocab. I don't care about vocab. Vocab to me is a pest, okay? Now, I told him on different terms, if we met each other, I would think he'd be a cool brother, you know, a dude that, you know, that enjoys the Black culture and wants to rap, you know, and wants to reach the urban community and save Black people from cults and stuff. I mean, if I was a Christian and I met the dude, I think we would have been cool. I would have been like somebody on Shield Squad. You feel what I'm saying? But that's not how the coin landed. And unfortunately, now we're on different odds. And it's mostly because, you know, he has this insistence of trying to demonize me. And my thing was, I'm not trying to demonize him. I'm telling him just to back off, because I have a whole bunch of people that want to ride on him, and I'm telling them just chill, just chill. That want to just go in on him, make all these videos, bring up references, go into his doctrine. I'm like, just chill, just chill. It's okay. It's all right. Because I put out what I want to debate him on. If he doesn't want to debate on that, which he has not expressed an interest to do it, then I'm not debating him. Then I'm going to move on to all my other projects that I have coming up. Not worried about him. But his existence is predicated on what we teach as a Hebrew Israelite community. He's trying to categorize us and figure out who believes what and what they believe so we can look bad before a Christian audience. His thing is, oh, I'm going to warn Christians, don't join this cult, don't join this group. It's crazy. Because a lot of the accusation he makes towards One West, he can't make it towards me. So he has to flip it and try to find another angle in order to demonize me. It's funny to me. It's really hilarious to me because it's not affecting anything. He doesn't understand how many prominent bishops and pastors that I know and I work with, that I talk to. I mean, he's not aware of that. How many of them are also part of the meetings that we do in order to fix and help the community? That's why the last question that came up as far as the Black church, I don't say nothing bad about the Black church in terms of resources that they have in order to afford to help in the community. Now, I may have disagreements with their ideology and their theology, but as far as a lot of the things that some of these big prominent churches are doing, because I've seen it, I've been part of a lot of these churches, I commend that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that we're doing in our community as well. Kingdom Harbinger Ministries is partnering up with a lot of other organizations, and we're doing a lot of work for the community. And these are things that I'm going to start bringing back out on the front lines. You know what I'm saying? Activism work, well, proactivism work, not activism, proactivism work. You know, helping out the communities with needs, carnal needs that need to be met. You know what I'm saying? Donations of people in hurricane relief, earthquake relief. This is stuff that we do all the time. Vocab is like, oh, you trying to make money off the community. Bro, I have a job. I'm a contracted tier 3 help desk analyst. And on top of that, I've created my own services to afford to give to the community. All of these things to assist with keeping this ministry going. And donations is requested and donations is given. Any churches you go to, 501c3 thrives off of donations. This bro goes to a church that receives donations. I looked them up. They're 501c3 and they receive donations. And he gives to that church. But he has a nerve to have an issue with another ministry that is also receiving donations from the people. This is crazy. This is crazy. So I give back a service, not just products. I give services to the community. Debt elimination is an immediate service that once you receive it, it can assist you, right? Health consultation, you know, as far as naturopathic means, and engineering a healthcare plan, working with Black municipalities in order to implement these things into those communities, so that way we can raise their awareness up in regards to how to better implement a system that is not epigenetically, but genetically designed to allow them to better impact the community on a positive wavelength. Just converting people to Christianity is not the be-all, end-all. That's not going to fix everything. So that's why we go a little bit deeper in regards to the things that we do. And people that follow my channel, they know the blueprints that I put out there in order to how to regenerate the community. All right. So with that being said, and I'm a finish off on a couple of things, right? So having Vocab trolling me, I thought was very interesting. He wants to make a big deal about Matthew 28:19, which I thought was funny. And I started putting out, leaking information out, making comments in response to them, and a whole bunch of people jumped on him. And I told all those people, yo, don't bang on him. Just fall back. So I held back at least 60 plus people from going at him, making all these videos and diving into his doctrine and everything like that. I said, chill. You know, and a lot, these people are not from my organization. These are just people that follow my platform and people who have followed Vocab, and they wanted to find a ways of understanding where he comes from. And I said, I'll give you all the information on progressive covenantalism. I'll train and teach you on what that is and the faults of what that is, so that way you guys can do it yourself. But I said, just hold back from making videos, hold back from really turning up on him. It's okay. Because after I do this, if he doesn't accept the debate that I put out, I'm moving forward. He's not on my radar. So he's going to continue to be thirsty after me and follow after me. That's fine. That's what he wants to do. Hey, that's fine. I'm going to do a video. I don't care if you do a video. Go ahead and bring more publicity. It's not going to affect me because I'm not thinking about you. When I wake up, I don't think about you. When I wake up, I don't think about Christian apologists until I come at odds with them, or I interface with them, or somebody is coming to me and asks me for assistance. And then I'll go and I'll respond. But otherwise, I'm not thinking about y'all. I'm fixing the community, and I'm not doing it with religion. Not doing it with religion. So after trolling me on this Matthew 28:19 thing, because he got all, what? You don't baptize in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Oh my God, the world's over. It's crazy because I made, what, 3 videos on baptism? Interesting. 3 videos I made on baptism. Apparently he didn't watch them. So obviously he doesn't know what my formula is and the concept behind what baptism means in my perspective. He has no clue what that is. And that's fine. But something as petty as Matthew 28:19, as I told him, from my research, keywords, for my research, it seems to be an addendum or interpolation in the text. And this is the information. I'm going to give y'all a brief rundown because the slide is like 120, it's like 120 slides. So I cut the 120 slides down to about 40, I think it's 40 something slides. Let me see how many slides it is. It's 49 slides. I cut it down to 49 slides. So I had 120 slides. I cut down to 49 slides because it was just a lot of information. Cut it down to 49 slides. Vocab, I still got that 600 slide PowerPoint for you. I ain't released it yet, but I'm going to keep it there if you ever want to debate. But I said, let me do a response to this and just put it out there. So that way they can see what my position is. Because the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal what their position is. So it's going to be fruitless, vain, and pointless for them to even make a video, because I'm going to tell you where they're coming from. I'm going to tell you what their angle is. And I'm going to tell you the arguments that they're going to make. In order for me to be objective in what I teach and what I present, I have to know what my opposition teaches. I have to put myself in their shoes and say, well, how would they deal with this? How would they deal with that? And when I do the PowerPoint, y'all will see it. I'm going to touch on the main points that they're going to make in order to defend their worldview. I'm going to give that to y'all. And then I'm going to show you my points and where I stand in regards to where I'm at with the information. So in regards to vocab, being thirsty, chomping at the bit, right? Like a young teenage girl that just hit puberty, right? And she's thirsty for a boy. She sees all these boys, but she gets turned down by boys, and she just gets mad, and she just wants to get one over on one of these boys. That's how I'm liking it. I speak in an analogy, figuratively. Don't take it personal. It's figurative. Because I don't hate the brother. I don't hate him. I have no bitterness, no angst against him. For what? I don't live my life like that. But if he's antagonizing me, I'm going to respond with my perspective. And remember, I scale back. I scale back because I don't want to overload him nor the audience and lose them in the process. So I scale back a lot. Even now, being it's 2:30 in the morning and I'm tired with the headache and I need to go to sleep really so I can wake up early and take care of more business, I'm still talking about this information and I still want to give it out, right? So I put dates there because I realize I play chess, okay? I know about strategy. And I understand that if you really want to trap the rat, you have to put not just one piece of bait in a trap, because sometimes they may not even respond to it, but you put a maze, you create a maze, and you put them through the maze. And then you put little pieces of cheese along the maze, and they'll get the cheese. Oh, I got it, I got it. And say, wait, there's some more cheese, and go for another cheese, all the way till you get them all the way deep. So there's no way they can go back. And finally, they'll get the big piece of cheese, and once they bite it, boom, the trap hits. So I have to be several steps ahead in order for me to lay out these traps, in order for me to put the bait. And this guy bit on every piece of bait, just thirsty to try to understand me, so that way he can do what he do. Vocab, if you put my name or my organization in another book, there's going to be a legal matter. Legal team advised me of. Is he defaming your character? Yeah, he's doing it online. All right, don't worry about it. Did he put it in a published work? No, not yet. Because in his first book, he didn't say nothing bad about me, so I don't care. They told me, let me know if he does that, to let them know. So I said, cool, no problem, because I'm not putting him in any works. I'm not putting him in any works. All right, okay. He said a legal threat. No, I'm letting you know before my legal team get on it. So give you a heads up, because you're not going to misrepresent me in a published work. You're not going to do that and think that you're going to get away with it. You can make videos if you want. You can do Facebook posts if you want. But if you do a published work, then we're going to have a problem, because I'm telling you what my legal team says. So I take their advice, because I'm not out here slandering you. I'm not out here making videos about you, right? I'm not out here doing anything like that. The videos I posted, but my interaction with you, because we both was on the line, and I posted the whole thing. All the two interactions that we had, one when I was with you going against you and Shield Squad, and one with just me and you doing our interview, I posted the whole thing in length. I didn't just cut it and just show my questions towards you. I put the whole thing in length. But you, on the other hand, you just gave your audience bits and pieces. You didn't want them to see how I countered you. You didn't want them to see the questions that I asked you. But it's okay, Vocab. That's all right. The people come to my platform and they see it. They go to Sal's platform and they see it. They go to Facebook and they see it. There's groups out there on Facebook simply to dissect Vocab alone. And I purposely avoided all of these groups. You know why? Because a lot of these groups defame him and talk bad about him and call him names and get personal. I said, Joe, I'm not with that. So I don't join on those groups, but I know about things. People tell me about things that discuss in those groups because I'm not trying to be corrupted in what my assignment is. My assignment is to buffer him using apologetics for my community. That's my objective. So I'm not out here to defame him. I'm not out here to misrepresent him. I'm not here to do anything, but that's his objective. He's an agent provocateur. He's not, he may not be on the payroll, and I will never say he's on the payroll because I don't know. I can't validate if he's FBI, CIA, or informant for the Southern Poverty League. I don't know what he's doing. I have no clue. But I know that his actions is very agent provocateur, especially when he made that video about baptism and tried to pit me against my own community. We see you, vocab. I see you, vocab. We see it, vocab. We're not moved by it. It didn't work. You know why? Because it came from an unrighteous place. Whether or not you can withstand scrutiny on that. And if you have to borrow from my worldview for it to make sense, and we realize from our discussion, you need to borrow from my worldview in certain places. And how is that going to be helpful to the Black community? You want to do urban apologetics. How is that helping the Black community? How is it helping the Black community? All right. So I see what's going on, and I see what he's up to. But I don't entertain the ad hominem campaign against him. But this is what he does about me. He calls me all types of names and stuff like that. Bro, I got thick skin. You think this is the first rodeo I've been around? I got thick skin. It doesn't bother me. But I put the information out because my community is asking for it. So I put it out and I share it with them. He thinks, oh my God, I'm going to let everybody know what Devon Prospect believes. Bro, people that follow me, they know where I stand. This is not nothing new to them. They know that I'm objective on certain things. I'm neutral on certain things. That I'm full force on certain things. This is not nothing new. This is not nothing new. So let me sum it up with this, right? So now vocab tagging James White and everything, reaching out to James White, reaching out to all these professors, reaching out to people in his community, because if he was face to face with me, he'd have nowhere to go. He'd have no lifelines or anything. He's gonna have to deal with everything that's up here. I keep everything up here. And the only reason why I show your slides is because I have to validate what I say. I keep everything up here. I'm not no dummy. So face to face, I would go full out on him. But behind virtual scenes, I scale back a lot. I want him to think, oh, he's uneducated, he's unlearned, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Cool. Playing that card, bro. Bite it. It's bait. Go ahead and bite it. You'll be better off going back and doing what you were doing. There's no need to come down this lane. And like I said, the legal team is itching to get at you. I'm telling them to fall back. Fall back. He ain't doing no published work, so fall back. So I don't mind if you share my worldview correctly. I have no problem with that being scrutinized and peer reviewed. That's fine. But don't misrepresent me, because I'm not going to misrepresent you. Simple. So now what I'm going to do going forward, and then until the end of the year, another couple of weeks, I'm going to put out all this information on progressive covenantalism. I'm going to put it in all the Christian groups that I'm in. I'm going to put it on my page. It's going to share it. And I'm going to say, people, what do you think if I came with this worldview? I'm going to start spinning the tenets in regards to that worldview, that hermeneutical approach, unique hermeneutical approach. And I'm going to see what they say. Because, you know, he used Dr. John Mead, like, oh, my God, I'm scared. I'm terrified. Like I don't know who that is. Like I haven't read his works. I don't know him personally, but I've read his works. So I'm familiar with who that person is, right? And his contribution to Christianity and Christian ideology. You know what I'm saying? So he was one of the contributors to progressive covenantalism in the book in which vocab has read, not Kingdom Through Covenant, progressive covenantalism. I advise vocab to read Kingdom, read all of it. That's very important. And I got a surprise interview coming up with somebody. Y'all see, surprise interview coming up. Oh yeah, like I said, I think 10 steps ahead. Surprise interview coming up. So so he goes and he reaches out to James White. And then he has people in his group reaching out to James White. And then James White makes a response. Now, James White is going to do a whole show on me. Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is part of my presentation too. I used to watch James White. I first was introduced to James White, introduced him. So vocab's gonna think, oh, you met him? You saying you met him? No, genius. When somebody says I've been introduced to somebody, or that I met somebody by way of their work, that doesn't mean that you was with them live. I don't have no pictures with these people because I would have took pictures if I met a lot of these people in real life. Now, I may have went to some seminars that some of these people who are prominent in these books that I read have written, but I don't know them personally like that because I chose not to reach out for them because that has nothing to do with what I'm here to do. But now I'm going to start doing that, even the more so. And you're going to see me with a lot of pictures with these people, right? You're going to see me having interviews with them. You're going to see all of this coming up soon, all of it, because my community needs to be aware of this. So James White, I first was introduced to him when I started watching a John Ankerberg show. I watched almost every episode of the John Ankerberg show when I was a Christian apologist. And like I said, that's when I first got introduced to James White and his contribution to textual criticism, defending against the King James onlyist crowd. You know what I'm saying? And I followed his work even after that. And I looked this guy for Alpha and Omega Ministry, started watching his material. And I called into a show 3 times in the past when I was a Christian apologist and never got through to the brother. Never got through to the brother. And I wanted to reach out to him. I wanted to contact him. I wanted to meet him. And I never had the opportunity to do it, ever. He didn't even know I existed. And for I know, he could care less. But now it's very, very ironic that now, because vocab is just so chomping at the bit for things, that now he has to reach out to a resource like James White. I have no issues with James White. James White is doing what James White does. My issue is with vocab. But see, vocab, he has to call everybody to come save him because he can't stand as a man on his own 2 feet. Because if he could, then he would face-to-face set something up. Me and him would sit down. You tell me where you at. I'll come to you. We'll sit down face-to-face and we go at it one-on-one. Like those little dialogues you have on the street with GMS in them. Me and you going to do it face-to-face. Like the one you have with Sakari, we're going to do it face-to-face. Neither one of us is going to bring any books, and we're going to sit there, look each other in the face, and we're going to dialogue as men. We're going to be very respectful. We're going to dialogue as men, 2 hours going back and forth. And we're going to see who's the last man standing. You keep thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about, that I'm uneducated, that I'm aware. You keep thinking that. You keep thinking that. And think that you have some kind of advantage because of your ethnicity. If you believe that. I'm not saying you do, because you believe everybody's one in Christ. So maybe you don't think like that. But subconsciously, that's what's there. You see me as a Nigga. That's my position. That's how you see me. And you want to throw these derogatory slurs because I'm not a Christian. If I was a Christian and I was black, you wouldn't have no qualms with me. You wouldn't see me as being inferior to your worldview. But being that I am, this is how you subconsciously view me. This is what the anger and hatred is coming towards, because you want to be black and you're not. You can't stand for somebody else to be equally as intellectual as you who's black. Now, Shield Squad has a lot of bright people. Matter of fact, G-Con is much sharper than you. G-Con will dice you up any day, but G-Con is not going to do it because he has an allegiance with you. G-Con is also out there trying to slander my name as well. I ain't got no beef with G-Con. Vocab is the handler. So Vocab, this presentation is for you. And after I put it out, you want to debate, I gave you what I'm going to debate on. You requested an interview set up with Shao Showtime, and I agreed. All right. So we back. We back. It's gonna take some time to come up, but we back. All right. So what I'm saying is, I feel very uncomfortable with that type of energy from a male. It's very sad. Like jumping on on all my posts, making all these comments. I'm like, yo, it's really bad. This guy's infatuated with me. So vocab, I'm gonna stick to just the information, bro, because I don't hate you. I have nothing personal against you. You threw so many ad hominems my way that I deflected, but I didn't forget it. I took note of it. I took note of it. And I'm letting you stay in my chat. I don't have a problem with that. At any time, I could block you from my channel. At any given time, I could block you and all of your consorts from my channel. But I'm letting you rock because I'm telling you something serious, vocab. So now you want to get James White involved. Why? Why can't you stand on your own too? I have all the screenshots that I'm going to share in my presentation of you tagging James White. And then now other people are tagging James, people that are not even friends with me on Facebook, jumping on my page, tagging James White to support you because you weak and you can't stand on your own. And when I say you weak, vocab, it's not a personal shot. I'm like, if you were solid on the information that you told, even textual criticism, that's not your lane, bro. Textual criticism is not your lane. You going back and getting other resources and stuff, speaking to other people, trying to aggregate their data to use it against me. I see you. I know what you're doing. I see it. I'm not impressed, but I see it. And I know what you're doing. It's okay. See, I'm limited to the amount of resources that I can reach out to, right? For now, because I choose not to. But all that's going to change. And then going forward, vocab, I'm just going to give this information out to people in the community. And they can do what they want. Because I'm not going to care, bro. I'm not going to care. So don't get mad because the truth hurts. It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good. There's a lot of things that I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. It's unnecessary. So in regards to information, I'm going to put out my stance for Matthew chapter 28:19. This guy acts like I don't know the arguments pro and con for my position and pro and con his position. I know. The majority of Christianity wants to support a particular tradition that popped up. So they're going to have more resources to protect it and preserve it and to guard it. Unfortunately, from my position, we have a lot of things we can stand on, but it's not as rock solid as the system that Christianity has. But that will change. Y'all willing, in due time, that will change. All right? So it's all good. So family, I hope you enjoy this. But like I said, now James White is going to do an episode on me. And it's very interesting because I wanted to speak to this guy when I was a Christian apologist. Never got a chance to. And ironically, because of Vocab Malone, he's getting involved in this. And now he has to make a video on little old me. James White has done over 150 lectures in his life with people from Bart Ehrman to all of these Muslim apologists. I mean, just a whole list of people that I've seen him debate. I watched almost all his debates that's available on YouTube. I watched almost all of them. So he's going against people who have a resume that's much longer than me, that has much more experience than me. He does. So what is inspiring him to make a video about somebody like me? Because Vocab needs the ammunition. Vocab needs a bodyguard. Vocab needs the shield squad. Vocab needs these resources because Vocab can't stand on his own too and go back and forth with me. If me and Vocab was going back and forth on a video conferencing, one-on-one, when he has no access, he has to go, oh, look things up. I'm just going right off the dome. Oh, look things up. It's not going to look good. So I don't want to put him in that precarious situation. I'm not going to do that to Vocab. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I have no issues with James White. This is from me to Vocab Malone. Only because Vocab Malone came against my community. James White didn't come. James White was introduced to it because of Vocab and because of Jeff Durbin, who's connected to James White personally. So this has nothing to do with them. Jeff Durbin, I used to watch his stuff too. You know what I'm saying? James White has nothing to do with them. This is between me and you, Vocab. And once I'm done putting this information out, I'm not going to mention your name ever again. I'm going to keep it moving. And if you keep mentioning me, it's going to show what kind of depraved mind you have. And people see it already, Vocab. I had Christians hit me up and say, yo, what's wrong with Vocab? Like, this is not Christ-like. I said, why are you telling me? I'm not going to say anything about it. You tell him. Oh, why can't he just focus on the gospel and do this? I'm like, bro, he said he's a Christian apologist. This is what he does. I don't know why he's doing it. Yeah, but he didn't have to call you names. How's that showing the love of Christ? I'm like, and mind you, there's a lot of Christians in me. I'm like, I don't know. Why are you asking me? keep maintaining your discipline. You know, even though we may not agree with everything you're saying, Divine, we appreciate your approach to it. And I said, no problem. I'm just on the defensive now. He's a polemist. I'm the apologist right now, not him. I'm the apologist and he's the polemist. So this is really interesting how things are turning. I just think it's really interesting. It makes for a great table conversation on Thanksgiving Day. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, family, I'm about to wrap up. I'm gonna check out the chat. If y'all have any questions, I'll address it real quick. And then I'm gonna do this PowerPoint, and then I'm going to bed. All right, I'm gonna load up this PowerPoint. Y'all can check it out, and I'm gonna go to bed. And I'm gonna show you vocab's position, which I'm well aware of. Matter of fact, I had a debate. Very interesting. So vocab, stop reaching out to everybody. You're already on your slanderous campaign to make me look demonic before the Christian community, but they're not going to see that in my behavior, vocab. So you have to just try to find something crazy to throw on me. It's not going to work. I have nothing but righteous motives for my community. It's that simple. And just because something is not Christian does not automatically make it bad. It doesn't make it bad. But that's not what the apology. So anyway, I don't know what's going on with this YouTube thing. It keeps cutting out. Very frustrating. Man, this is crazy, man. These streaming issues is really crazy, man. I'm very, very bothered by this. Very bothered by this. But all right, if y'all can still see me and hear me, hit one. Hit one if you can still see and hear me. I've never had these many problems before, man. I don't know what's going on. Never had these many problems before. People that follow this never had these problems before. Hit one if you can see and hear me now. And if you have any questions, ask me your questions. And then I'm going to log off. Yeah, if I do reboot, because trust me, remember, I'm a techie, right? I'm a techie as well. If I do reboot, it's going to kick me out. And then I have to wait, and it's going to disrupt everything. So when I do an offline presentation, it's not going to be centered on the streaming. So I should be fine. All right. All right. So y'all can see and hear me. All right. So if y'all have any questions, you can ask me a quick question if you want. And let me know. All right. Ask a question. I'm going to answer a couple questions, and I'm gone. I'm going to do this presentation. I'm going to bed. All right. I don't know who LC Ford is. He's a vocab is not that important to spend so much time on. I agree he's not. So tell vocab to fall back. I'm not going to think about him after the next couple of weeks. I have other things to do. He's the least of my worries. He came for me. I didn't come for him. He requested to sit down interview with me. I didn't request that for him. And he looked really bad in there. Looked really shaky. And then Shield Squad made a whole 2 sessions on me on their Shield Squad radio. And I jumped on the first one and I went in on him. It wasn't looking good for them. So I said, let me just fall back. When I'm turned up, I'm sharper. When I'm laid back and reserved, I'm a little bit off my game, right? But when I turn up, I'm on it 1,000%. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. But then vocab, he's itching to redeem himself. Now he wants to talk about his Matthew 2019. Now he wants to make these videos. I ain't make no videos of him. So vocab, all I'm going to say, vocab, is I'm going to make a video on purely information. Not going to say anything about you. To demonize you or anything like that, that's fine. But if you make another video misrepresenting me or demonizing me, I'm not going to say nothing when people want to put videos. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say anything about it. But just know it's not going to be for me or my organization. I'm just going to be quiet and keep doing what I'm doing. And whatever else fray that people want to get in with you, that's between you and them. Because I'm just here dealing with information. Stop demonizing me. Stop misrepresenting me. Stop disrespecting me. Don't do that. I don't appreciate that. All this ad hominem name calling, bro, you need to fall back. Because now when it's turned up on you, you don't like it. Deal with it. People are going to watch this video and know truly what's going on about you, Vocab. And I really didn't want to go there with you, but I shared some of that information. But like I said, I'm not going to get too personal with you because I'm not here to defame you. I'm here to speak it as I see it. That's all. All right. So any questions from you can ask, and I'm getting off on here. Yafet said, did you recap with GOCC after the debate with James White? Well, I spoke to Elder Gabar, who's leading the New York City branch of GOCC, and he had reached out to me after the Ricard situation, and me and him had spoke on it, and I gave him some pointers on some things that they needed to research and look into, and they definitely needed to be sharper in regards to biblical Hebrew and Koine Greek. And me, I like to venture off a little bit in the Syriac and the Aramaic. So I'm more versed in biblical Hebrew. I'm not as versed in Koine Greek, but I know enough of it that I can make my way through a text, or I can expound from a text hermeneutically, right? But these are things that I'm insisting to them, and I'm telling them, you guys need to study language, and not just language. Understand systematic theology from whatever worldview in Christianity is. And if you don't understand what James White, Reformed Baptist, Calvinist position is, then you're going to look very weak in a dialogue going back and forth. It's not going to work. If you're not well read in church fathers and other extra biblical works in regards to the subject matter, it's not going to work. So you have to know these things. And I sent them massive resources. I don't know what they're doing with it from there. I know that GOCC NYC made a rebuttal after that Ricard situation, but I haven't spoken to them in a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because this wasn't even on my mind until Vocab reached out to Sal Showtime and said, I want to interview Devon because he wants to categorize me and demonize me. That's what he wanted to do. And I already knew this is what he was scheming up. So I said, if we do an interview, I need to interview you back as well and put it on record and put his position, doctrinal position on blast, so that way his community and my community know exactly where he stands. I asked on Shield Squad, how many of y'all know what progressive covenantalism is? Oh, yeah. Like Scooby-Doo. They didn't even know what that was. They have no clue what that is. But now they're going back to research, and they're going to see the points of contention, especially since G-Con is a dispensationalist. They're going to see that, oh, we don't really rock on some things. They're going to have that internal conversation at some point. So that's the answer to that. Let me see. Remember I told y'all, family, I subscribe to Torah. You know what I'm saying? I tell y'all how I identify. So this Pauline approach, his church father approach to stuff, is the same thing that the Christian church fathers did. The patriarchs of the church has done to other sects, especially Jewish Christian sects that was coming up. The same thing is happening today. The same thing is happening today. They demonize them. They call them heretics. They said the same thing to them because a lot of these church fathers, you know, when we look at them, Eusebius, Epiphanes, Origen, Justin Martyr actually tolerated just the Jewish Christians. He didn't really have any issues with them. Jerome, a lot of them did not have a lot of firsthand account or witness to these groups that they were talking about. And we see that because a lot of their testimonies, you know, and work on these various groups were not consistent. That goes to show they didn't have, a lot of them did not have firsthand accounts with these groups. These are things that they was hearing, and they wanted to write against these heresies. Okay, so those are the apologetic church fathers, and I have a book on that. Matter of fact, let me show you the book that I have on that. Let me see if I can find it in my Logos library. See if I can find it for y'all, so you can understand the basic structure of the church fathers. Let me see if I can grab this out for y'all. Man, it's been a while since I pulled this out. Let me see if I can get it out for y'all. But I encourage y'all, you must learn what these things are. If you guys don't learn what these things are, see. All right. I think we back. All right. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something, man. Let me show y'all something. All right. Take a look at this. Right. It's my logo software that I paid $1,200 for. Was it $1,200? I think I paid $1,200 for it. Paid a lot of money for it. But anyway, so I have my libraries here. I have a lot of books in here. Look, the Apologetic Study Bible. Real questions, straight answers. Man, this is crazy, man. I read almost all of these works here, man. All of these works, man. I need to go back and read them again. My Codex Sinaiticus. Let me see. Where's the church? Let me see if I can find it. Man, I got the Syriac Peshitta in here. I got the Gregory Allen P fragments in here. I got mad stuff in here. I got a lot of money I spent on this software to get all of this whole library. Institutes of Christian Religion. That's a little older book there. And I purchase new books all the time, man. Let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna have to look for this book. I have it in here somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it. There's so many books in here. Yeah, this all opening up series was interesting. I'm gonna have to look for it, fam. I can't find it right now. What is the Trinity? R.C. Sproul, man. This is interesting. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna give it to y'all because I have it in my library. I purchased it, so I'll give it to y'all when I find it. Let me see if this works real quick. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let me show y'all this. This is interesting. Hopefully this don't cut out. Let me show y'all this. Hold on. See this over here? Church history. Ignatius, Polycarp, Second Clement, Origen, Monastus, Athanasius, Arius, New Rome, Constantinople, Basil, Chrysostom, Bishop of Constantinople, and it shows you the times here, the first councils, Council of Nicaea, Constantine's conversion, Origen's canon, and it goes down here. Christianity wins the Roman Empire, Marcion, Tertullian, Justin, Irenaeus, persecution here, monasticism here, New Testament canon fixed by 400 CE that they were saying. And then we go in here to the early fathers and show you the canonization process. Early fathers, the Muratorian canon lacks Hebrews and 3rd John. Origen's New Testament lacks Hebrews, James, 2nd Peter, 2nd and 3rd John, Jude, because Origen saw them as being spurious and doubtful. And so did Eusebius. He lacked what? Hebrews, James, 2nd and 3rd John. The same things that I was saying to y'all. If you go into the works of Origen and Eusebius, they say the same thing. Okay, so we're gonna move forward. Then it says the New Testament fixed by the Council of Carthage. Y'all need to research the Council of Carthage. You can get the transcript online and y'all can read it for yourself. Then we have church history here. Man, I got so many resources, man. It's crazy. Let's stop. Let's stop this. Let's go back. Maybe they thought I was playing when I said I was a real Christian apologist. I was striving my best to get into it. I was defending what I believe was the faith. But it's all good. It's all good. Oh man, it's all good. So anyway, I'm gonna end off. I don't see. Let me see if there's any more questions. I'm getting tired. I just need to do this before I fall asleep. Why do we even give the church fathers doctrine the light of day? The reason why you need to give the church fathers doctrine the light of day, because you need to see if you're being influenced by them, being influenced by their theology. That's why I've read their works, because I want to ensure that my worldview was not reflective of any one of these church fathers, that I would just look at the data that they put out, the information they put out, and then I would sift through it and I would eat the meat, spit out the bones, because they had the luxury of being contemporary to a lot of things that were going on, and they were able to capture this information. So my objective was to make sure that once I come into my worldview, to ensure that their theology is not influencing my worldview. The problem is a lot of Hebrew Israelites have taken Christianity and blackwashed it. And a lot of the stuff that they teach is heavily influenced by the church fathers' theology. Okay? So I learned these things so that way I'm not adversely affected by it. Okay, that they're not the source of where I stand on, and that I know when I come across Christians who are the bright Christians, right, the reformed ones, is the Calvinists. Those are the brightest ones in the community. When I come against them, I understand what sources they're going to cite. I understand that, and I see it, and I can follow the discussion. I'm not lost when they speak. All right. All right. LC Ford, no, it will not. A debate with him is not going to edify the community. Wrote the works. That's what they said. I want his community to see what he stands on and encourage him maybe to go back to covenant theology, or I want our community to see where he comes from, so you know what his worldview is, and you know where he has to borrow from our worldview in order for his worldview to make sense. All right. So any more questions? Kiefer Abio Ben Israel said, who are these church fathers? Type up anti-Nicene church fathers. I'm gonna write it in the chat. Look them up. Put some of them in the chat. All right, that's all from the dome. I just put several, so you can look these individuals up. All right. All right. So those are some of the anti-Nicene church fathers that I put up, except for Jerome. He was kind of like contemporary. Remember where we get the Vulgate from, okay? And Jerome actually had a copy of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, which I'll get into another time. Let me see. What other questions is there? Okay, I think, yes, Zephaniah Yisrael, I made a post about Athanasius and him and his canon. And I might touch on a little bit in this presentation. I think I added a slide in there where I'm going to talk about canonization. I did, but you guys can just go to the canonization of the New Testament. Just type that in Google and you can do a search for it. There's several books that I have on that as well. So if y'all want it, email me at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com, and I'll send you all of these PDFs so that way you can get a good grasp on what that is. Okay. And I think that's everything. He said Athanasius introduced the Trinity. No, that doctrine of the Trinity was before Athanasius ever came onto the scene. It was already developing by these Gentile converts to Messianism. And they were bringing in their Greek philosophical thoughts and trying to wrap it around understanding this Messiah. And they developed what's called this Christology, where they were trying to understand his incarnation and, you know, where he fits in regards to the Godhead from references that they read in the New Testament, etc. So Athanasius was not the one that pioneered the Trinity. It was way before him. Other people were alluding to it. Some people directly cited it, but Athanasius did not come up with or introduce the Trinity to anybody. It was a developing theology that he helped to bring forth amongst other adherents to it. All right. Let me see. All right, I think that's it. I think I'm about to go because I want to do this before I get too tired. All right. Appreciate y'all for watching. Oh, no, I didn't see the super chat by Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa, for your donation. I appreciate that, sis. If anybody else did a super chat, I probably didn't see it. So I'll say thank you in advance. And I appreciate for all the support that y'all are giving me. If anybody wants to shout out, hit two. Hit two. If y'all want to shout out, hit two. Let me shout y'all out real quick before I go. Thank you for that, Kiefer, for keeping watch. All right. I just added 2 people as a moderator now. Anybody else want to shout out? Hit two. Hit two before I go. So let me shout you out before I go. Hit two. Let me shout you out before I go. But like I said, it's an interesting, very interesting turn of events. Now James White is actually going to speak on this Matthew 28:19, simply because me and Vocab had a discussion about it, going back and forth. And Vocab tagged James White and reached out to James White to save him. You know what I'm saying? So James White has a Superman outfit on, and he's Lois Lane asking for assistance. Like, he's always the damsel in distress. I'm not saying that you're a woman, Vocab. I'm speaking figuratively. Figuratively, he's the damsel in distress. You know, he's a great reporter, but when the going gets tough and the heat come on him, he's going to have to call the superheroes to come and rescue him. The SHIELD squad got to come out and protect him. You know, James White got to come out and protect him. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, you know, that has to be the case. But you know, interesting that James White, you know, hopefully one day I'll be able to have a sit down discussion with James White. Especially like I said, when I was a Christianity, I used to look up to his work. I didn't subscribe to his Trinity position, but I loved his textual criticism work, and I loved his debates that he did defending Christianity. But I didn't subscribe to his Trinity worldview. Now, during the process of me evolving in Christianity, I started seeing the benefits of subscribing to Trinity and understanding what I believe to be the Most High at the time. But now it's irrelevant. I don't need a Trinity worldview in order to understand the complexity of Yah. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. But it's interesting because, like I said, you know, I used to look up to him and his information. At this point, I mean, James White, I don't follow him anymore because there's no need for me to follow. If I was so a Christian apologist, I would, but I don't follow him anymore. But like I said, I wish I could have had a dialogue with him before Vocab got on the scene and started to demonize me and my community to him. You know, I think we would have had a really good, fruitful discussion because there was some questions I wanted to ask him back in the day that I would have had the opportunity to ask him now. But now it's a different ball game altogether because Vocab then messed everything up because he needs help. But it's all good. All right, I think I ranted and raved enough, family. I really wanted to do this presentation, but the internet, not the internet, the stream keeps going in and out, even though the internet is still there. It's just something with YouTube. I'm having an issue with YouTube because everything else looks connected except for YouTube. So I apologize for the technical difficulties, family. Shout out to LC Ford. Shout out to Rafaya Pazaz. Shout out to Sam Bone. Shout out to Arius Judah. That he asked me about the cookout. I'm not sure about that. I'll consider it, but I'm not sure about that. So this Trinity that you're talking about, is it Isis, Osiris, and so you mean is it Asar or Set and Heru? Are we talking about the Hebrew version? When I say the Trinity, I'm talking about the God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, who are co-equal, co-eternal, and they all had they're different persons, but they all make up the unity of God, and they each had a role in redeeming man. And this is what is taught by Christianity. Interesting thing is, I think one day I seen a James White video when he was explaining the Trinity. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he showed a flashlight and he put like a prism up and he shined the flashlight on a prism, and the prism broke up the light into various spectrums. And he said, this is likened unto what the Trinity is. I heard Walter Roston Martin bring up another example of the Trinity, what he was talking about when the Israelites, the spies went out, when the Israelites was in the wilderness and it was going into the land, they sent spies out. The spies came back with one cluster of grapes, cluster being singular because it's the collective noun, and he likened the Trinity to that cluster of grapes, having different parts but all making up one whole grape. So I pay attention to these things when I see it so I can understand the concept behind what the Trinity is, whether I subscribe to it or not. I want to be able to objectively understand it so I can have a well-versed discourse with somebody who subscribes to it. All right. Let me see. Delondra Jones says, Shalom Ak, I'm the Memphis Ak that me and my rib came to one of your lectures. Keep up the good work, Shalom. I appreciate that, Delondra. Thank you for your support. Hopefully when we interface, if you did meet me, that I was respectful, that I was courteous. If I wasn't, if there's any ought to anything, let me know and we can work it out. But for the most part, I strive my best to be respectful to everybody, to try and speak to everybody if I can when I see them, and just try to show love. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the shout out. In fact, that's an excellent question. You're gonna have to probably inbox me that on Facebook or email me that so I can answer that in a follow-up. But I'm about to go. Coach Kerry, shout out to Coach Kerry. Tada for sharing your wisdom. I learned so much. All praise to the Most High Yah. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Coach Kerry. Please come back. Please continue to support. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have anything that you can share with me to help me grow, let me know. And that's for everybody in the group as well. And I think that should be it. So Nisi's pieces, she's saying Layla Tov. So Layla Tov sis, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Adonaya Haor says, where do you stand on Clement of Alexandria? I'll probably speak on that in a following video. Clement of Rome, in the Clementine homilies. They say pseudo Clementine homilies. I reference that a lot because some of that work actually is part of my worldview. Some of the work is part of my worldview. So that's interesting on that. What are some of the weakness doctrine of the Calvinists from the top of your head? Well, I would say the main weakness is that they don't consider the Torah, any elements of the Torah. Actually, well, that's not true. They do subscribe to some of the Torah, some of it being applicable to the Jews. But to Christians who Jews should strive to become, it should not be applicable anymore. It's consummated in Christ. So in regards to my stance, in regards to Calvinism and the entire tulip tenets of faith in regards to Calvinism, I have to break each one down another time. I subscribe to some of the tenets, like the sovereignty of the Most High, limited atonement. I actually subscribe to limited atonement, but from a Israelite perspective, and different things like that. So there's a lot of things I kind of agree conditionally, and a lot of things I don't, but I'd have to make a separate video going in depth with it, showing you a chart and showing you references so you can understand my critique of it. Because if you don't know what it is, I'm going to waste time having to explain it and then critique, which would extend, you know, my lengthy monologue on my soliloquy, but I don't want to do that. So I'll go into another time. So I'm going to end off with that. So anyway, family, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I'm sorry I couldn't do the presentation live, but I'm going to end off. I'm going to go do it, record it, and then I'm going to get back with y'all. I'll post it back up for y'all to see it. And anybody else that want to see it, they can see it. But like I said, James White, you know, he has one of his episodes coming up speaking about Matthew 28:19. He did a whole post on Facebook about me as well, which I thought was interesting because I never said anything about James White. And now he's including me in the dialogue because he's defending vocab. And he wants to get on Matthew 28:19 because he actually defended this before, and I've seen him defend this before. His work on defending that against Islam. Islam was attacking the Trinity. So I pay attention to James White's work. I understand what he's coming from with that. So I'm going to put this in my presentation so that way they know that I know what their position is. And just because I know what your position is, I don't have to automatically concede to it. No, I'm going to explain to you why I hold the view that I hold, and I'm going to explain it. But first, I got to demonstrate that I know where they're coming from, and that's what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to try to get it done and try to upload it as soon as it's finished, so y'all can enjoy it. And thank y'all for your support. Hope y'all enjoy your day off tomorrow. It's not a feast day, a Sabbath, or anything to me. I'm actually going to do work to defy this deceitful holiday. But whatever the case may be, whatever you guys are doing, be safe, enjoy. Try and get some rest because it's late. It's early in the morning. Enjoy your day on tomorrow. I look forward to seeing y'all again. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm going to try to work on that to minimize that going forward. But I never had these problems before. It's the first time I'm having these problems before. It's very interesting. But thank y'all who nominated me for that Black Power Award. I truly appreciate that. I'm going to continue to be a servant to the people. I love you guys. I'll see you again. Peace, shalom, Black Power family.